Hello, everyone. My name is Swamp.
We're currently surrounded by River Cane, which I think is pretty cool. When Gabriel comes to blow his horn, will the scarlet banner at last be torn? Prepare yourself and try to get away, for you can't eat money and buy your fate. I'll rise when the rooster crows, rise when the rooster crows. I'm going back south where the sun shines hot, oh, down where the river cane grows. Rise when the rooster crows, rise when the rooster crows. I'm going back south where the sun shines hot, oh, down where the river cane grows.
All right, that was Nick Shoulders. I'm thinking I should grow a mullet. What do you guys think? Cut off most of my dreads and then just comb a few of them out in the back. I think it could be a good look. All right, how's everyone doing tonight? I was thinking about playing the trailer to the new Daily Wire documentary, because I saw it today and man, it had me tearing up the whole time, and I think maybe I'll just recommend that you go watch it and I won't play it on my stream to, you know, kill the mood right off the bat. It is brutal though. It's called Choosing Death: The Legacy of Roe. Man, it is intense. They released the trailer and a clip from it. I would definitely recommend it. All right, so of course, first thing, I'm going to throw it over to Swamp News. Hello, everyone. My name is Swamp Johnson, and this is Swamp News. The FBI has opened an investigation into Elon Musk. What are the odds? In response, Elon Musk tweeted this: "If I die under mysterious circumstances, it's been nice knowing you." And while that is a funny joke, it might actually happen. Elon Musk also said the Twitter deal was temporarily on hold pending details supporting calculations that spam and fake accounts do indeed represent less than 5% of users. It seems, and we're all shocked, that maybe Twitter has not been very truthful about a lot of things. Now, on to climate change and how Roe v. Wade has possibly being overturned has made things worse. We should not be having children, and, the climate's just so bad. We need to abort our children. But don't take my word for it.
You know you're a millennial when you question whether or not it's ethical to bring children into this world. Because of climate change. We don't really know whether or not the world's going to be habitable in 30 years. So why would I bring children into this world?
So I've had 2 abortions. Nothing medical. I just find it incredibly morally unethical to bring another human being, another child, into this late-stage capitalistic shit show that is causing the literal extinction of our species in our lifetime. This child that you want born so badly isn't going to live to see 30, and I need you to hear that. I need you to understand it. But enough about climate change.
While the rest of us sit back and watch the planet slowly die. And I know we all feel helpless, but there's one thing worth a try. Don't have a baby. Don't bring a new life in the world. I know they're cute with their little hands and the way their fingers curl, but don't have a baby. Resist that primal urge to breed, 'cause give it 10 or so more years and they won't be able to breathe.
Truly beautiful and brave. Now, this is the part where I had wanted to report on the Russia-Ukraine situation, but YouTube has made it very clear how they feel about honest reporting on the war in Ukraine. Notification. Due to the war in Ukraine, we will pause monetization of content that exploits, dismisses, or condones the war. Now, what exactly any of those things could mean, as always, is very unclear. A Wisconsin school district filed a Title IX complaint against 3 middle school students, accusing them of sexual harassment for using incorrect pronouns when addressing other students.
An investigation into 3 Kiel middle school students has been launched.
The school district has filed a Title IX complaint accusing the students of using incorrect pronouns while addressing another student. Fox 11's Monique Lopez spoke with the parent of one of the students in this Project Education report.
I received a phone call from the principal over at the elementary school forewarning me, letting me know that I was going to be receiving an email with sexual harassment allegations against my son.
Rosemary Rabidou's 13-year-old son, Braden, is one of the 3 8th-grade Kiel Middle School students accused of sexual harassment, something she disputes.
He said he's being allegedly charged with sexual harassment for not using proper pronouns. I thought it wasn't real. I thought this has got to be a gag, a joke. One has nothing to do with the other.
According to the Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty, or WILL, now defending the accused students, in March, one of their peers announced the pronouns they prefer to be addressed as, they or them. One of the alleged incidents Braden and the others were supposedly involved in happened in April.
She had been screaming at one of Braden's friends to use proper pronouns, calling him profanity. And this friend is, very soft-spoken and kind of just sunk down into his chair. And Braden finally came up defending him, saying he doesn't have to use proper pronouns. It's his constitutional right to not use. You can't make him say things.
Some might say or think that you or your son are against the LGBTQ plus community.
Not at all. Not at all. My children have been raised to love everybody equally.
Shortly after finding out her son was being investigated, Rosemary reached out to Will.
Title IX sexual harassment typically covers things like rape, dating violence, quid pro quo sexual favors, right? Really egregious stuff. There's nothing even remotely close to that alleged in this case.
Will says the school district's policy doesn't cover the misuse of pronouns, and neither does Title IX.
In other news, Nina Nina just will not stop proving to the country just how qualified she really is to be head of the Disinformation Governance Board, saying verified checkmarks on Twitter should be able to edit other people's tweets. but don't take my word for it.
And I am eligible for it because I'm verified. But there are a lot of people who shouldn't be verified who aren't, legit, in my opinion. I mean, they are real people, but they're not trustworthy. Anyway, so verified people can essentially start to edit Twitter the same sort of way that Wikipedia is, so they can add context to certain tweets. So just as an easy example, not from any political standpoint, if President Trump were still on Twitter and tweeted a claim about voter fraud, someone could add context from one of the 60 lawsuits that went through the court, or something that an election official in one of the states said, perhaps your own Secretary of State and his news conferences, something like that. Adding context so that people have a fuller picture rather than just an individual claim on a tweet.
Head of the Disinformation Governance Board. On Sunday, Bill Gates finally admitted that COVID really was no big deal.
It wasn't until early February when I was in a meeting that experts at the foundation said, there's no way, there's been too much travel without diagnosis for us to contain this. And then at that point, we didn't really understand the fatality rate. We didn't understand that it's a fairly low fatality rate and that it's a disease mainly of the elderly, kind of like flu is, although a bit different than that. So that was a pretty scary period, right, where the world didn't go on alert, including the United States, nearly as fast as it needed to.
So even with admitting that COVID really was not a big deal, Bill Gates' takeaway was we should have locked down faster. And this claim just has experts baffled. In other COVID news, Dr. Fauci, the man who has claimed that if you question him, you are questioning science, now has something to back up that claim. The University of Michigan has given Fauci the honorary degree of Doctor of Science.
University of Michigan proudly presents you the honorary degree Doctor of Science.
By the authority of the state of Michigan, vested in the Board of Regents and by them delegated to me, I now confer upon you, Anthony Fauci, the degree Doctor of Science and admit you to all of its rights, honors, and privileges.
Dr. Fauci is now Dr. Science. And thankfully, we still have doctors who are worshiping the cult of Fauci. Here, Dr. James. Grocery shopping, 3/4 of the clients were masked. Only one employee was masked. Among the clients, only men were unmasked. Sounds like toxic masculinity, Dr. James. Masked grandmother looked terrified whenever an unmasked man passed her. Grocery stores should have masking hours only. This is something I actually would support because I don't want to see your mask. My name is Swamp Johnson, and this has been Swamp News. All right. Doctor of Science. Dr. Fauci, the Doctor of Science. What is wrong with these people, man? All right. So, for the first time ever, we're going to do What Are They Mad About Now live. And the way we're going to do this is I'm going to put a poll in the chat for each one. We'll give it a little bit of time. Everyone votes, and then I'll give you the answer. So, presented for the first time ever, what are they mad about now? Is it Roe v. Wade edition? So as I said before, I'm going to show you a picture of a crazy person. Then I'm going to give you 3 options. And you will have to decide what this person is so mad about. And I have not quite figured out how I can have these options loaded up already. So I'm going to have to type them in as I go. So just give me a second for each of those. But all right, here we go. Let me see here. Boom. And I probably should have put some music on here. So while that poll is going, I'm going to add. There we go. And just for, to warn you about everything that's coming up, this is the only person that is even slightly decent looking. Not like that's a surprise, though. Oh, we're tied now. This always ends up happening. So it looks like it's an even split right now. Are we going to get one more vote? Put one in the lead? How many people do we have in the chat today? I know we've got at least one more person who can vote. All right, so it's an even split. Here we go.
Well, Florida's at it again. This time they're trying to pass a bill that will not allow teachers to talk about anything related to the LGBTQ plus community. They can't talk about the history. They can't talk about sexual identity. They can't help the students out when they're going through something. If they bring it up and a parent finds out, the parent has the right to sue the teacher and the school. I don't think I need to explain to you how disgusting this proposed bill is.
Actually, I would like you to explain it.
This is the fact that most students are not safe in their own homes if they do not align with their parents' beliefs. And schools are usually the only safe place that these students can talk to somebody and find healing and find acceptance.
Wow.
So naturally, upon finding out about this proposed bill, I have been fucking livid. And then it got me thinking, why the hell are people who know nothing about the LGBTQ plus community allowed to vote on our basic human rights?
Oh, it's the
these people are voting against us
no
because
uterus,
they're
no
scared,
opinion argument
because they don't know
just for
anything about us.
LGBTQ.
Because to them, we are a them. We are not an us. We are not a human race that's just made up of people that are different than each other. We are separate and divided because that is what they are taught. They are taught that they are supreme, that they are better, that they are the right way to live their life, and we are these like different beings and different people, and they're scared of us, quite frankly. And I know this because that is how I was raised as an evangelical Christian. It was very much us and them, and us were the correct people and them were the wrong people. Let's pray for them, let's vote against them, let's take away their rights.
I think you may be looking back on that time of your life with a slightly distorted lens.
Then I thought, can you just imagine
it keeps going.
How different this country would be if people would talk to somebody different than them. It's that simple.
That's deep.
If the people that you surround
yourself come up with that by yourself?
Look like you, act like you, share the same beliefs as you, have the same opinions as you, then you are never going to learn anything. You are never going to grow. You are never going to educate yourself and learn how to use critical thinking skills. This is why churches are so dangerous, because they just
control people. And they keep them in these like-minded little bubbles so nobody questions anything. So listen to what I have to say very carefully.
Oh, yeah,
If you
I'm
are a
listening.
straight, cis person, you are no longer allowed to have an opinion about anyone in the LGBTQ plus community, especially if you will
you're not allowed to have an opinion on my opinion. So
to talk to us
suck it.
or have a conversation with someone in the community. And you are not allowed to have an opinion on racism. If you're white and you haven't taken the time to talk to somebody in the BIPOC
I thought this was
community,
about don't
then
say
Candace Owens
gay.
does not count. You are not allowed to have an
Candace
opinion
Owens
on
doesn't
refugees if you have not taken the time to meet people who either work with refugees or are refugees. Because you try to form an opinion based on something you haven't even taken the time to learn about, you end up voting based on fear.
You sound like the one who hasn't taken the time to learn about what you have an opinion on. Yeah, basic human rights. Holy hell, shut up, woman. Good Lord. That was brutal. All right, here we go. Number 2. Homophobia, climate change, or Roe v. Wade? All right, looks like climate change and Roe v. Wade are tied. All right, is that it? Here we go.
Whoop. Hey, you just killed a tree. What? No, I just accidentally dropped a seed on the ground, so I picked it up. Oh yeah, a seed that could have become a tree? So what's your rationale, tree murderer? I picked it up like immediately after I dropped it. Besides, I don't want a tree there. If it grows, the roots are going to ruin my house's foundation. Oh, well, maybe your house's foundation deserves to be ruined if you're just throwing seeds around. Besides, this wouldn't even be happening if you weren't gardening in the first place. But I like gardening. Gardening's fun. Besides, if you really care that much, the guy that gave me the seed is handing them out by, like, the truckload. Oh, I couldn't care less where you got the seed. Really?
This is so stupid.
I only care that you dropped it in your yard. Yeah, exactly. It's my yard. What are you doing in my yard anyway? Who are you? Oh, I'm Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito.
Man, talk about a gotcha. Man, she freaking owned those pro-lifers. God. All right. The fat man himself. I mean, I don't know who he really is, but boy, is he fat. Fat shaming, racism, or Roe v. Wade? Man, will we ever get a clear winner on any of these, or are we going to end up with a tie again? Oh, Roe v. Wade. Pulling ahead at 44%. Ooh, 45%. Roe v. Wade. All right. Let's take a look.
I don't think the court fully understands what is going to happen to this country. I think Sotomayor talked about it recently. But the entire credibility of the court is just going to go straight down.
With that guy's mouth?
Ain't nothing going to survive after this. You think protesting is going to happen? Motherfucker, I'm not going to pay my fucking taxes. Why the fuck should I? Y'all have done nothing to protect us and our women.
Based opinion?
What is wrong with you? People with uteruses are not getting the protection they deserve.
He caught himself there.
And the rights that they deserve. I don't fuck. Why would I pay any taxes? Because the only thing that I'm seeing is that my tax dollars going to is a motherfucking democratic system that's not being democratic. Ashley said it perfectly in her TikTok.
Fight,
it's
brother.
incredibly hypocritical, and it's just going to create a
I've been
fucking
saying
ripple
this for
effect.
how long?
Like, what's next? You stupid motherfucker.
Accidentally based fat guy. All right. That was the big man. Here's the big lady. Thin-splaining, transphobia, or Roe v. Wade? Man, thin-splaining is the clear winner. Oh. Got one for Roe v. Wade. Man, looks like thin-splaining is the winner. All right. Thin-splaining comes out number one with 75% of the vote. Let's see what it is.
I would like to talk very quick about something that annoys me, and I'm going to call it thin-splaining. It's the idea that fat people, have no idea how to be thin, and that's why we're fat. So people, or that we just don't understand health, and that's why we are the way that we are, so they want to add their tips. Saying that it's not appropriate to talk to your loved ones about their body or their weight gain or loss. And some people are like, what if I want to talk to my partner about it because health risks run in their family? It's their family. Who told you about the health risks? Do you think they don't know? Why do you need to talk to them about it?
I guarantee you this is one of those fat women who think she's got big boobs, but she's really just fat. You know what I mean?
Unless you have anesthesia, unless you're getting a prescription for medication, unless it's this, unless it's that. And I'm like, fat people know when it's medically necessary. Stop. I made a video saying that there are no diseases exclusive to fat people, which there are absolutely not. And people want to say, it can actually be a risk factor for other diseases. Like we don't already know. People have literally been saying this shit to me since I was 7 years old. I know. I don't need your helpful input.
But sometimes people are just going to keep saying it until it sticks, you know? I mean, clearly you have not heeded the advice. And look at this beautiful man. God, this might be one of the ugliest people I have ever seen in my life. Man, I was too involved in watching that crazy lady to... I forgot to type out the next one, so... All right. So, the options are toxic masculinity, colonialism, or Roe v. Wade. Oh, hey, thanks, Gina. Appreciate it. How you doing? God, this guy is a living meme. Look at him, man. Someone needs to make a soy jack out of this guy. God, his face, man. Oh. Oh, hell yeah. That sounds delicious. Shrimp boil. All right, looks like toxic masculinity is going to be the crowd favorite. 50%. Any last minute voters? Anybody want to drop a few ballots in at the last minute? Anyone have a cooler full of votes somewhere? All right, toxic masculinity it is. Votes are locked in. Let's see what's going on.
The Supreme Court wants to send the question of abortion back to the states and let them decide. To start, this is an egregiously wrong decision.
His voice
for the
sounds
same reason
exactly
that we
like you
also
thought it
should
would.
let states decide whether or not slavery should still exist, as we did in this country for many years. And that's because equality is guaranteed by our Constitution. It's not something people should have to ask for, it's not something people should have to fight for, and it shouldn't be at people's discretion whether or not women have the right to be equal to men. And yes, this is about equality, because despite the fact that women and men engage in the exact same act to create a baby, women are the only ones who could ever be subject to a broad range of health risks and often detrimental economic consequences that a man could never experience. For example, an increased risk of developing lifelong diabetes, the risk of dying during childbirth, the loss of career opportunities because their employers pass over them as they notice their stomach growing, and a proven loss of income for every child they have, including a significant loss in lifetime earnings compared to men if they are forced to have their first child before the age of 31. Now, despite having engaged in the exact same behavior to create the pregnancy, men cannot be subject to these health risks and adverse economic consequences. And the second you preclude a woman from deciding if she wants to accept those risks, and any of them come to pass,
I
you
actually
have
zoned out for a
disadvantaged her
second.
because of her sex.
This guy.
Because had she been born a man, she would have never been subject to any of those. Now, since I don't
He
think
is a
anyone
living
here is
meme.
suggesting that in order to maintain
He is
equality
the
among
soy
the
jack
sexes,
meme.
that we execute the father if a mother dies during a childbirth she didn't want to go through with, the only real way to make
What?
women as equally in control of their lives as men is to give them the same ability that allows men to control their lives. The ability to not be pregnant at any given moment or ever become pregnant if they so choose. Otherwise, you force us to live in a
Dude.
country where being born a woman leaves you less in control of your own life than had you been born a man, and that is not equality.
Jeez. And yes, that's right. The next one is the rebel English teacher. You know, I had to bring her in for the first. What are they mad about now? All right. So the options are her own family, Christians, or Roe v. Wade. And Christians is taking the lead at 57%. Oh, 60%. If you've seen my videos on her, you know it could be any of these. She is nuts. All right, looks like Christians it is. With 67% of the vote. All right, let's see what's going on.
So I've been pulling away from my family and some of my friends who are conservative because I feel so passionately about what's going on that it just makes me want to punch people in the face. And that is frowned upon in civilized society. I'm not ready to permanently break relationships, but I can get very heated. So I talked to my gateway friend because I can keep from wanting
smart,
to scream
know?
at her because she is such a good friend to me. I told her that I needed to talk about abortion because we could both use some perspective. She could use some facts and logic, and I could use practicing talking to a conservative without wanting to
2 out
punch
of 3.
them. So I started telling her about how states are using this to try and get rid of contraception, making no exceptions for rape, incest, or life of the mother.
Yeah, no
I did
one
get her
has
to
said that,
agree
so
to all
good
of
for
it
you.
except for choice abortion should still be legal. But whenever I was talking to her about how I am legitimately scared that this Roe v. Wade rabbit hole is going to lead us directly to the Handmaid's Tale.
Oh,
And her response
Handmaid's
gave
Tale.
me all kinds of
Handmaid's
clarity.
Tale.
She said, yeah, I'm scared too, but I'm mostly scared because everything that's happened in the world was prophesied in the Bible as the end times. So this isn't going to
Oh, the
affect
hat
us too
trick.
much longer because the rapture is going to happen and they're all going to be taken to heaven. Which is just absurd and ridiculous, but I told her that I would even be willing to read a book about it, just so I can understand what the fuck is going on in their minds. But it just makes so much sense that they don't give a fuck about what's happening, because it's not going to affect them very soon when they're in heaven. You can't argue with people like that. They have no motivation. Religion is so dangerous. You can justify anything when you think it's all gonna be over soon. We're fucking doomed.
Jesus. Oh, the rebel English teacher, man, she never fails. All right, for this one. Sorry, again, I got too invested in listening to the rebel English teacher to write down the next one, but here we go. So, and what a face that is. The options are white people rapping. Oh, it said there was an error. Will I go through? Oh, it won't let me ask this question. What? I don't understand. YouTube doesn't like these, Okay. Maybe what if I abbreviate it? Yeah. That's hilarious. I wonder what it is that it doesn't like. Oh, you can't say white people in an option. But okay, so white people rapping, white people with dreads, or Roe v. Wade. I can't believe that. YouTube won't let me type in white people. Wow. All right, we got white people with dreads at 75%. All right, let's see what we got.
Y'all don't know AAVE. If you non-black people, y'all don't know AAVE, and let me explain to you why.
AAVE.
Anytime people get on this app and they use a sound at which a black person is using AAVE, they use a song at which a black person is rapping in AAVE, it is very evident at how unnatural y'all look when you try to fix your lips to say some shit that y'all know y'all shouldn't be saying. I'm not even talking about I'm talking about just the vernacular, the phrasing,
This woman's
the way
TikTok
it rolls
was
off thy
painful
tongue,
to
if
look
you
at,
will.
man.
Y'all don't understand that. Y'all don't understand the phrases enough to be able to even say them with your chest the way that black people can, because we know what the fuck that shit means.
How can
like,
one
it's
person
many
be so
phrases in AAVE
stupid?
that y'all just think are like
I say that a lot on
punchlines.
this
y'all
channel.
think are taglines for your Instagram post. No, that shit came from somewhere. We made it out of something. And y'all don't understand it enough to be able to speak it with your chest. So just do understand. Please do. If you understand anything, understand this. Y'all don't look right when you do it. You look like you're struggling. Even when you are sitting up here on a sound and you're doing a sound to TikTok and you're trying, whatever the fuck y'all be doing, I don't know. You look
How do
unnatural when y'all try to.
Watch this stuff back after they film it.
You look unnatural.
Because they have to edit it.
If you're mad about it, be
and
mad
think
about
that
it.
they
Raise your own blood
sounded
pressure.
smart.
You're not gonna raise mine. However,
or that they made a
it's
point.
not gatekeeping when something simply doesn't belong to other people. Like when you really want to date this shit back,
that's gatekeeping.
Like it doesn't belong to y'all, and we can tell it doesn't belong to y'all
Oh,
because
hey,
y'all
thanks, brother.
don't have it in you to actually be able to spit it up the way that it needs to be put out. It's fine. Y'all don't got it. But the wild thing is that a lot of people feel so entitled to blackness. A lot of people feel like
I feel entitled to
the
blackness.
existence of slavery continues to this day in the way that y'all think y'all can step over us and
What?
take ownership of our things, and that
Wait,
we just have to sit here and watch it.
rapping
And then
to
when we
a
say
black
something about
song?
it, y'all start to get to playing massa
Is
and
slavery
wanting to
today?
act all weird. Y'all don't own us. Nothing we create belongs to you. But that's the energy you're giving every time you think that this is something that you can just appropriate.
That's the
Especially when
energy.
it's like it don't even look right coming out your mouth. Like, why do y'all do this to yourselves is my question. Why do y'all get on here and embarrass yourselves is my question.
That was my question to you first, actually. Wow.
Because I'm really fucking tired of it. Specifically and especially for y'all don't understand this because y'all have never had somebody come in and try to actually cut your native tongue out from under you. Not only were black Africans who got shipped over here during the triangular trade, since we got to go back to fucking 3rd grade social studies, not only were they stripped of their language, as we developed AAVE, we have black people in America to this day have been stripped of that, have been criminalized for that. So y'all don't get it. I speak in AAVE because it's comfortable for me, but also because
so
what's comfortable for me is often an act of resistance.
African
Y'all do it because
American
you think
Vernacular
it's cute.
English.
We're not the same. Y'all
Ebonics.
don't know AAVE.
Oh god, she's still going. Oh no, it started over again. Oh hey, I forgot to edit the end of the video when I recorded it. Yeah, African American Vernacular English. You're not allowed to say Ebonics anymore because I guess that's racist now to say Ebonics. African American Vernacular English. Okay, next one. Police brutality, Republicans, or Roe v. Wade? Yeah, Ebonics used to be the term. It was the PC term. I mean, that's what you were supposed to say. %73 say Republicans. All right, it looks like that's it. Let's see if you guessed right.
The absolute worst shit about the people fighting to overturn Roe v. Wade is that no matter what they do, they're always going to have access to abortion if they want or need it.
I'm sorry, what?
Even before Roe v. Wade, it's always been safer and more accessible for rich people to get abortions. And I feel like similar to any other form of healthcare, they're basically saying, yeah, you deserve it as long as you are rich and white. Anyone else? Not accessible. Absolutely
What about a
not.
rich black person?
It's cool when we have autonomy over our
Or
bodies,
just
but
people
like,
who can get
if you don't have
abortions because they're
money,
not that expensive.
that's really not for you.
Man, what a crazy, crazy person. So this last one is a bonus one. And what that means is I have no earthly idea what this person's actually mad about. So let's see if you can help me figure this out. Because what this person is talking about is... that actually is a dude, actually. If you go look at the TikTok, it's a dude. But what this person's actually talking about is Will Smith slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars, but I can't figure out for the life of me what they're actually mad about. Why? Which part of it? I have no idea. All right. So extra points if you can figure out what's going on here.
Why are we still talking about Will Smith smacking Chris Rock? Why are we still talking about it? I know why we still talking about it. I've been thinking about this as the world and white people have been discussing Will Smith's reaction. And that's the real word. It's the reaction. Black people, we've been taught our entire lives, and tell me if I'm lying, but it's to act right in public. And more importantly, to act right in front of white people. Act right in front of people that are in a higher class than you. You know what I'm saying? Put yourself together in the morning. You know, you go out and you be the best that you could be. But Lord forbid if black people start just reacting the same way white people react. The same way the lady was throwing Black Lives Matter candles. The same way black people are followed by random white people that think that they all of a sudden police. They're just reacting, right? But if black people start reacting, there's an issue. They scared of us, y'all. Keep reacting. Keep reacting. Stand up!
Honestly, what What was that person mad about? Which part of the Will Smith thing were they mad about? I don't get it. Are they mad because I don't know. Because he wasn't mad about the slap. That was fine. It was something about the reaction to it that people expect black people to behave in a civil manner? I have no idea. Anyway, this has been the first ever live What Are They Mad About Now? I think it went pretty well, actually. Not too bad. We made it. We made it through. Yeah, it's not that wasn't too bad for the first time through. I did learn that you can't write white people in a poll on YouTube, which is something that I definitely was unaware of. So that's definitely interesting. Why would that be? I have no idea. Boom. All right, the next thing I wanted to do, and I thought it would be cool to go back and revisit some things that happened during COVID that, despite how, you may try not to forget this stuff because they want you to forget it. So some of it you forget. I mean, the time passes and you just forget how absolutely crazy the last 2 years have been. Or almost 3 years. I mean, COVID was used to perpetrate a lot of evil. I mean, this is really the blunt way to put it. So I thought it would be fun to go back over some of my old COVID videos, because I did a lot of compilations highlighting all this stuff that happened, and I think people forget, man. Well, I mean, everyone remembers that. Yeah, it was stupid, and they totally blew it out of proportion and used it to do bad things. But I think you forget actually how bad it really was, and it's still going on to a degree. So this first little compilation is from December 2021. Oh, hey, thanks, Justin. Appreciate it, brother. So what we're going to see here was when we were told about the Omicron variant. Dun, dun, dun. I guess I should probably turn the sound on, huh? There we go.
Little wave of Omicron coming.
And like I said, this was in December, so that's the Christmas music. This was all for the science, guys. This was, I mean, God. Do you know how many lives were saved with this? I mean, look at them. They're saving the old people. Look at them go. Pepper spraying her in the face.
If
If you are anti-mandate, you are absolutely anti-vax. I don't care what your personal vaccination
Sure,
status
why not?
is. If you support, champion, give a green light, give comfort to, support anybody who argues against the vaccine, you are
You
an anti-vaxxer.
give comfort to them.
Absolutely. Your personal vaccination status is utterly irrelevant. And if you are out there in any way, shape, or form...
How did we not see just a ton of assassination attempts through this, like through all this COVID nonsense? Maybe there were, and the media would never report it. You know, I mean, how? It seems like there had to have been some attempts, because listen to these tyrannical pieces of shit. I mean, and it was every major country, like every developed nation, they were all doing this insanity, except for like, you know, one or two. But man,
campaigning against this mandate, you are absolutely anti-vax. If you
look at the science, science in action right there.
Stuff it.
That's
Shove
public
it.
health.
And anyone out there who comes for the mandate, you are anti-vax.
Man, look at all the public health happening there. So much public health.
From Monday, the Italian government is bringing in stricter pandemic measures for those who remain unvaccinated. The Super Green Pass means Italians can no longer show a negative COVID-19 test to access bars, restaurants and public events, but instead require people to be double vaccinated. The new restrictions are dividing opinions in Italy.
Being vaccinated, there is no problem for me. On the contrary, it
Oh,
is
how
better.
nice.
So
Oh, yeah,
we
look
can
at him
try and
go.
get rid of the pandemic, and so we can stop letting people die.
Look at them. They're stopping them from dying. Look at it. Stop. Look at it. They're stopping that guy from dying right now.
The Super Green Pass is contradictory and restrictive. It is restrictive because it does not allow people with a negative test result to go to restaurants and bars. And it is contradictory because they can go shopping.
I mean, yes, but it's also restrictive just because it exists at all. Gives a shit about your vaccination status. Man, telling you, there had to have been assassination attempts that we just never heard about.
The wearing of face masks in several of the most popular shopping streets in the country's largest cities also became mandatory on Saturday.
Look at the health.
Italy reported
saving,
40 new COVID-19 deaths
health
on
saving
Sunday,
measures,
down
life-saving
on the previous
measures.
day's 75.
I appreciate greatly the work done by all the premiers and chief ministers in seeing those national vaccination rates get to where they are. We've got one more state to get through that gate. As it's a bit like, you know, getting the sheep through the gate.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Welcoming tougher penalties for unvaccinated
He just calls them
customers who
sheep.
target hospitality staff.
Anyone that is spitting, coughing or sneezing or threatens to do so,
That
they
is
can
true.
Be issued with an
There
infringement
was assassination
notice.
attempts, but they were from our federal government trying to frame
From
other
December
people.
17, when the vaccine mandate takes effect, fines will range from $1,300 to more than $13,000.
What? Double jabbed and ready to chap? There must be a cultural disconnect here. What does that mean? And look at this one. I miss pints with my pooch. What? People drink beer with their dog? Are dogs able to drink beer? I don't know.
To more than $13,000 or 6 months behind bars.
Police will be patrolling and conducting compliance checks.
To everybody that's lying on the beach.
Compliance checks. I love it. Yeah, that doesn't sound fascist in any way.
Please remember, you are in breach of the public health order if you are not wearing your mask. Please
yes,
put
thank you.
your mask on, otherwise fines will apply. Also remember, social distancing is vital. We're not out of this mess yet, and if you are outside of the 5-kilometre LGA, again you are in breach of the public health order. Thank you for complying, and thank you for helping us to keep the LGA safe.
Yeah,
two
they're
ways
keeping
to
it very
see One
safe.
is a political way and the other is a public health policy way. The political way, unfortunately, has been politicized. We all know it. So it's a political statement. You wear a mask, likely you're a Democrat. You don't, likely you're a Republican, right? So ridiculous. But that's not about political.
Yeah, because it wasn't about politics. You ever notice that anytime any of these people say stuff like, listen, this shouldn't be a partisan issue, it is 100% bullshit every time? Listen, I just want to control your entire life and force you to do exactly what I want you to do. And that really shouldn't be a partisan issue. I mean, we can all agree on that, right? We can find common ground here. And you remember this in Germany when the police were walking around with 6-foot-long sticks and holding them between people to make sure everyone was socially distanced properly? God. We can't forget this happened, what they did. I mean, seriously, it's...
Affiliation.
They want us to talk about
health
Ukraine and Russia
and
now, but...
scientific practice. I think that it's a little bit controversial, the mandate, because some people, they feel they react even stronger to the mandate, but also on the other hand, it works. As I said, this country has a different culture. It's more free spirits. Not that the Greeks are not, but...
No, it's that they're not. Isn't it funny how many people said that through this whole thing, that Americans, they have this like, I don't know, they like freedom. It's bizarre. I mean, what is that? Where does that come from? I mean, that's just weird, right?
Right. Yeah. But they have the same problem.
Let's ask the room. So, vaccine mandates, yay or nay? Who's for them here? Nays? We got a couple. Maybe we'll hear from you guys in the questions. But in any event, it's pretty clear consensus here on
Yeah,
this.
it is. Because they work.
Oh, surprise. There was a clear consensus here with the Wall Street Journal and the Pfizer CEO. The crowd they attracted, you know, surprisingly, there was a consensus that mandates were good. I mean, who could have seen that one coming? I mean, man, that's wild. And my personal favorite of, God, this absolutely batshit crazy stuff. The winter of severe illness and death that we managed to avoid. Criminal justice system, COVID-based offenses are considered especially heinous. In Washington, D.C., the health officials who investigate these vicious felonies are members of an elite squad, known as the COVID-19 Response Unit. These are their stories.
As we've explained in prior briefings, the Omicron variant is more
This guy is a
transmissible,
Bond villain. I mean, look at
and
this
our medical
dude.
experts anticipate it will lead to a rise in cases. But unlike last winter, we now have the power to protect ourselves. Our vaccines work against Omicron, especially for people who get booster shots when they are eligible.
Yeah, totally works.
If you are vaccinated, you could test positive. But if you do get COVID, your case will likely be
Well, which is it? Do they work, or are you going to get it and still test positive? I mean, come on, man. Come on. Jeez.
asymptomatic or mild. We are intent.
Which, interestingly enough, is the same thing that happens if you get COVID and you're not vaccinated. The symptoms are very mild, or you don't even know that you had it. It's weird that it's the same thing, whether you're vaccinated or not. It's just funny. I don't know of too many other vaccines that work that way.
On not letting Omicron disrupt work and school for the vaccinated. We've done the right thing, and we will get through this. For the unvaccinated, you're looking at a winter of severe illness and death. For yourselves, your families, and the hospitals you may soon overwhelm.
What a piece of shit.
So our message to every American is clear. There is action you can take to protect yourself and your family. Wear a mask in public indoor settings. Get vaccinated. Get your kids vaccinated. And get a booster shot.
And
when
look,
you're
the way
eligible.
he's just looking right into the camera and speaking very slow in this very stern voice. This is a James Bond villain, man. I mean, How could anybody do this and like in this way and not think that like, well, that is one evil son of a bitch. I mean, it's just beyond me. I mean, God, what a piece of work. These people are evil. I mean, that is, it's obvious with, I mean, all of this stuff, right? Rescue dogs shot dead by New South Wales Council due to COVID-19 restrictions. Several impounded dogs due to be rescued by a shelter have instead been shot dead by a rural council in New South Wales under its interpretation of COVID-19 restrictions, alarming animal activists and prompting a government probe. Greater Sydney residents have been warned a COVID-19 positive man who was on the run is a danger to community after he reneged on arrangements made with New South Wales police. A COVID-19 positive Sydney man on the run from health authorities and police has been labeled as public health enemy number 1. Breaking. From September 13th, New South Wales residents that are fully vaccinated against COVID-19 will be given new freedoms. Residents of hotspots can leave home for an hour of recreation on top of their exercise hour, while people in other areas can meet 5 others outdoors. Australia's home quarantine app uses facial recognition technology to make sure you haven't left your house. And of course, let's not forget the quarantine camps. Not concentration camps, totally different thing. Quarantine camps, voluntary quarantine camps that you cannot leave if you choose to do so.
I got a tip on a recent rainy day and went straight to the San Mateo County Event Center, Gate 9, and couldn't quite believe what I found. Thousands upon thousands of boxes containing all sorts of brand new personal protective equipment.
What's funny about this story here is that they were reporting on it as if they were surprised by this. This is what always happens. I mean, what? It's like, disaster relief stuff that just ends up in pallets at a warehouse somewhere, and we always end up hearing about it like months later. I mean, usually that happens in communist countries that we send stuff to, but it happens here too. I mean, this is what the government does. Yet they keep doing it over and over again, and people keep acting as if, wow, I'm shocked that this government program didn't pan out the way that we thought. I mean, who could have seen this coming? But remember, if you said that this was going to happen at the time, canceled. Counts deleted. You're on a watch list. Everyone says you're crazy. Yeah. Jeez.
Soaking in the rain. Stacks of boxes collapsing.
Oh, what a mess.
Too many to count. Some breaking open and spilling their content. Boxes upon boxes of PPE just rotting in the rain. How did this happen? Dana Storr, CEO of the nonprofit that runs the event center for the county. Why is all this stuff going to waste here?
So, can you stop filming?
No.
Surely. I do love that response. Can you stop filming? No. Everyone knew that this was going to happen. Everybody who was involved in it. They may have fooled some of the public, but come on. Everyone involved in doing this knew that this was going to happen. The Minister of Health recorded saying to the Minister of Health Minister of Interior, there is no medical or epidemiological justification for the COVID passport. It is. I can't believe I pronounced epidemiological. Wow. Man, I'm good. It's only intended to pressure the unvaccinated to vaccinate. Fantastic. Military leaders saw pandemic as a unique opportunity to test propaganda on Canadians. A plan devised by the Canadian Joint Operations Command relied on propaganda techniques similar to those employed during the Afghan War.
The Public Health Agency of Canada confirmed media reports just before Christmas that it had secretly accessed location data for 33 million mobile devices to monitor the movement of Canadians during COVID-19.
California County mandates masks in private homes. Science. God, I mean, how... It is just wild that they were able to convince so many people of this shit. And they now want us to forget about it and act as if this never happened. That's why I wanted to do this. Go back to... Because these are old videos. Some of you may not have even seen some of these. And it's like... Really? This... Hey, we're on to the Ukraine thing now. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We're on to the Roe v. Wade thing now. That's what we're on now. That was like 2 things ago. The COVID thing. Man, I wonder what we're going to be on next week. Baby not qualified to be exempted from using Leave Home Safe app. Barred from entering sports center. A 2-year-old baby in a stroller was banned from entering a sports center as the mother failed to provide identification to prove that the baby is, wait for this, under 12. A baby. And can be exempt from Leave Home Safe mandate.
What? That's sick.
Oh, God. This one right here makes me sick. Dude, you best start believing in dystopian futures because you're in one.
What's this? It's fun, huh?
On that headset is a therapeutic video game.
Yeah, you look up and down and you sort of...
A tool to distract kids like Leia.
I see a big ball.
And get their minds off of...
Of course, the parents that named their daughter Leia are taking her to get a vaccine that at the time it wasn't even really believed to be safe or needed for that matter.
That moment that can be scary for some.
Good job. You're done.
Then when the kid puts it on, then we launch the experience, and then they just grab the remote. You'll see exactly what the kid is seeing.
I'm starting to think that sci-fi is pointless. I know that guy. No one listens to these guys. COVID vaccine profits meant 9 new pharma billionaires. Meet the 40 new billionaires who got rich fighting COVID-19. Total coincidence that happened. I mean, yeah. 40 new billionaires? Come on. What? And the thing that is crazy to me is these people who were journalists who were praising these people for this and saying how great it was. And it's like, oh, come on. You can't be that gullible. You are lying. At least one of those 40 new billionaires paid you to say this. Come on. It's about public health. Oh, there he is again. It's not about money. It's about that son of a bitch. Making sure that everyone's safe. Oh, here's my...
Mutating. It's becoming this crazy superbug inside of the people that aren't vaccinated.
You probably don't see it like this. There's 2 different classes of people. If you're vaccinated or if you're unvaccinated, you have all these rights. If you are vaccinated...
That is what it is. So, yep.
God, I had never even heard of that woman before this whole COVID thing happened. And man, talk about just being one of the most evil people on the planet. And look, and she's like smiling smugly while she says it too. Like, yep, that's what it is. I want 2 different classes of people. That's exactly what it is.
So you probably don't see it like this. There's 2 different classes of people. If you're vaccinated or if you're unvaccinated, you have all these rights. If you are vaccinated...
That is what it is. So, yep.
LMAO, you guys are getting desperate. Damn right you're lepers. Silly, unvax filth, second-class filth. Wow, Victoria. Calm down. You just went full Third Reich. I am one funny bastard. God, it really is just bizarre. I mean, and people are forgetting about this. This, like I said, is like, even the people that, like, I'm sure we all feel like we're, paying attention, which, obviously we are more than most people, but it's like, they're putting enough distance between it and they stop talking about it, and you can eventually just start to forget. I mean, that stuff that was in that first video with these here. Yeah, all this stuff. I mean, good Lord. We went from, even if one person dies from COVID, it's too many, to, hey, kill that guy. I mean, look at this. I mean, what is... Man, if you if you went along with this at first and you learned from it and realized that, wow, this was not good, good for you, because there's a lot of people out there who still think that all this stuff was warranted. That what we did was right, you know? God. All right. I hope you enjoyed our COVID recap. I think there was a few other videos that I had that where I also went over, like did a COVID compilation, but those were the three or four that I actually wanted to show you guys. So, let's see, how long have we been going now? Hour and 15 minutes, it says. All right. We got a little bit of time to do everyone's favorite thing. Let's scroll through my TikTok feed. And my following thing, because whenever I find crazy people, I follow them, of course. And I found some new people that I followed recently, so hopefully there'll be some new people in it. God, and they always love using copyrighted music, which always gets me in trouble, but everything else I do gets me in trouble too, so what's the difference, you know? No, we're gonna skip this one, but sorry. Sound on. This is Teacher Roby. That's what she goes by because she's non-binary. This is what the kids like to listen to. She says this new generation is something else, I swear, and then laughing. Dude, why is she letting kids do this? in class, what is this? What a bizarre thing. Oh, God.
Okay, so then I just like shove it up my
It's
ass.
Brentley.
What?
No, Brentley. Rating fidgets. Wait, what? Whoa, wait. Rating fidgets for adults. If you are an adult and you get a fidget toy, what's a nice way to say that? Well, you probably have purple hair, like this lovely woman. Dude, this is freaking weird, man. Why do adults act like children now? I don't get it.
When I heard Target had released their Pride collection, I ran to make a video. Because historically, I have not loved their lack of subtlety. But this year, I think they partnered with some pretty great designers. And the collection has some pieces I'm actually pretty excited about. Like, this is pretty cute. Little Wi-Fi signal. I knew immediately what was happening here when I first saw it, and I love it.
Yeah,
Green
we all
carnations,
do.
violets, lavender. I love that we're moving past just flags on shirts and getting into the symbology of our
Seriously, man, that's important stuff. We're moving past just flags on shirts and really getting into the symbology of our culture. Yeah, for sure.
culture. Another great dive into queer history. The AIDS crisis gave us both the reclaiming of this pink triangle and also the slogan, "The silence equals death." Continuing the theme with Sylvia Rivera, Marsha P. Johnson. Like, this line is not perfect, but I love that we're getting past this point of seeing ourselves just as a color palette. We have a rich history built on the back.
Get past seeing ourselves as a color palette. Hey, you guys wanted the pride flag. You were all about the rainbows. Hey, yeah, I'll see you later, Amy. I think I'm going to go for just a little bit longer because I do want to play some games later, so I'm going to do that as well. Let's see how it's yeah, let's maybe go. It's at about an hour 20. Let's just go another 10 more minutes going over these crazy TikTokers, so it'll be an hour and a half total. I think that's not bad. These live streams don't need to go, 11 hours or anything. Oh man, it's the rebel
win
English
today
teacher.
that I'm proud of, and I want to tell you about it.
Oh,
There is
please,
a student who
please.
comes by my room every day. They're not even my student, but a few of their friends are in my class, and their friends go by different names than what's listed, and I call them those different names that they want to be called. So they know I'm a safe person, and this student has been really
You are not a
upset
safe
recently
person.
because
No.
they have a transphobic teacher who refuses to call them by their new name. A few weeks ago, I asked them if they wanted me to talk to this teacher for them, and they said yes. So I told their teacher that they are going by this new name now, and they called their other name their dead name.
So it's very important to them. Last week, the student comes by again, very upset. They said this teacher is still calling me my dead name. So I went back to that teacher. Before I even
dead
said
name.
anything, this teacher complained that the student was acting out in their room. And I said, well, they did let me know today that they were very upset that you keep calling them their other name. This teacher said, they've never asked me to call them that. So I asked, if they asked you to call them that, would you call them that? And he said, probably not, unless it was a family name that their parents call them. So the next day I went to the student and I
She's
asked
being
them,
so
hey, do your
smug as if
parents
this
call
is
you
like a
this name?
gotcha.
To which they responded yes. And then I said, have your parents email this teacher. This teacher said if it was a family name, then they would call you that. Anyway, the student comes into my room today very excited. They said, guess what? The teacher is finally starting to call me by my new name. Anyway, I just said congratulations because that made both of our days.
Why are these teachers teaching people how to be insecure, whiny pieces of shit? I don't get it.
So exciting. Today's my first laser hair removal treatment with Bespoke Surgical.
All right,
Let's do
Josh.
this. The staff's so friendly here in the waiting room is lovely.
I'm back here with Austin. I have lidocaine on my face, and we're just removing it before we start the treatment. Little fan.
What in the hell?
Is that okay?
This guy, man.
The treatment was not uncomfortable for me at all, and it was super fast. It only took about 15 minutes to do my whole face.
Austin and I are discussing aftercare. Yeah, so for aftercare, we're going to do no excessive sweating or exercise for the next 8 to 12 hours.
Oh, come on. There was no risk of that. Look at him nodding his head like, uh-huh. Oh, I'll definitely take that into consideration. Did you hear what he said? No exercise or excessive sweating for the next few hours. I don't think we were at risk of this man going and exercising after this. I really don't. Why even bring it up?
No, excessive hot showers, saunas, things like that for the next 24 to 48 hours. Okay. Avoid sun exposure to the area. Make sure you protect your skin with SPF.
Lots of sunblock. And just like that, I'm all done. I feel amazing.
So exciting. Today's my first laser hair removal
Man.
treatment with Bespoke.
Do you guys remember when Chadwick Boseman got really, really skinny and people joked about the fact that he was so skinny? And it turns out he had cancer?
Okay, I'm skipping this. Okay, you like dogs. I get it.
Life of a non-binary art teacher. Yes. What's up, Jay?
Hey, Aviana, you got your pass? Let me see your pass. Yeah, pass on deck.
Coffee is a must.
Why am I not surprised that coffee is part of your personality?
She's supposed to be in class, and she's not in class. Get to class, Shadea. I gotta put you on the ground.
Did she say that girl's name was Shadeyu? I've never heard that one.
To get you in class. I do like your Crocs. Can you go to class though? Why are they backwards? Go to class. Go to class. Come on.
We at recess.
It's messages like this that make me want.
Oh my God. It says, Teacher Roby, you're a good TikToker. Follow me. Oh my God. This person needs to be fired. Right now. Just fired.
A man in my comments today called me a murdering basic bitch. I don't think that's right. I'd rather not be called a basic bitch. I think I'd prefer to be called a common cunt.
Not sure what the point of that was.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
so here's what I've learned in the last few weeks of having fidget toys in my classroom. 1, I cannot hang with the ones that make noise. This is not fun when you're trying to teach Siddhartha. 2, nothing that will explode. I love these until they're all over my carpet. And 3, nothing that can be weaponized. Luckily, Mrs. Bench found me, who is like TikTok's fidget queen, and she got me a care package. I love unboxing things. What in the hell is this? Do I put it on my finger? Is this right? A lot of people think because I have fidget toys in my classroom that I teach elementary. I don't. These are 18-year-olds with the exact same habits that 6-year-olds have. Extreme stretch. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's it. Oh, that's so good. I don't really care what else.
Why is she giving this stuff to kids while they're supposed to be while they're in class? I don't get it. Remember, this is the person that has the gender therapist, where she was wanting to get her breasts cut off because I don't know, because something. Oh, these people, man.
What else is in there? This is what I'm most excited about. So you can put these on your chair, and it gives them something to rest their feet on, or like push their feet up against, get out their nervous energy. All right, let's see. They're gonna make that my problem. So if you don't follow Mrs. Bench, you absolutely should. She did not have to do this, and I'm really glad the teachers are sticking together. Okay.
Teachers are sticking together.
So my name is Maybe, but I often use May for short, especially when like picking up an order or something. But I spell May M-A-E instead of M-A-Y, and that
Oh my gosh, that's
tends to
so
confuse
unique.
people just as much as Maybe would. They know me at my Dunkin' Donuts, and I walk in today, and the person behind the counter goes, "My!" I mean, they could be flirting with me, or claiming me. I thought it was a pretty common name. So my name is Maybe, but I often use May.
I don't like you. Next person.
This mystery box could have hundreds of dollars in electronics. And although it looks like a lesbian couple's packing materials, it's actually full of Target returns, courtesy
Hey, how come gay people get to be homophobic and talk about stereotypes? That's not fair.
of Tech and More box. Each one's a surprise, so let's see what we've got. First thing I noticed, underpants. But I can wear these. Oh, it's a small. Not for me. We got bar mop
Oh,
dishcloth.
yeah. Whatever. Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh. Thank you, Josh. Thank you. Thank you for that.
If you enjoyed the fact that we hide Waldos around the room just in practice, you're going to love what the book wrangler just put out last week. He created these little Where's Waldos that have books, and students can find them around the library and list them out, helping kids with bookfinding skills. If you enjoyed the fact that we hide...
This is your sign to get them toes done. Musk envy.
Nah, go away.
Yo, what's up? Really quickly, y'all. We have 10 minutes left of class. Some of us are painting.
Don't worry,
some of
I
us are
already
finishing
saved
the back
that
of our
video,
schedule.
Josh, so I could learn it, yeah.
No. We're ignoring that. The deduction is the deduction. Move on. We're not giving that our energy. So once we wrap up, you're going to put your sketchbooks away. Okay, I have collectors coming around to do that at the end of class. And then
What is this video
I'm gonna
about? I don't
have
know.
my special helpers help me with paint. And you guys have 10 minutes, okay? Any questions?
My dance
Keep
channel,
working.
Swamp Moves.
No. Yo.
Y'all, you cannot make this stuff up. So I'm at my
I'm
local
sure I could,
Walgreens.
actually.
You know, at this
I'm
point,
sure-
they
I'm
should
probably
just give me
sure
my own
you
chair
did.
in aisle 4 so I can be comfortable while I'm observing the crazy. But I digress. I'm at the photo counter picking up some pictures when a girl I can only describe as a combination of Abby Lee Miller and an off-brand Ruth Langmore from Ozark very aggressively approaches the counter and says, "I need to use the phone." Now, I don't know what shocked me more. The visual of this girl who couldn't be more than 14 years old, demanding to use a major corporation's telephone, or the fact that the worker just gave it to her. She dials a number, and when the person on the other end picks up, all she says is, "They won't let me get your smokes." I'm sorry, what? She goes on, "There's a new guy at the register, and he apparently doesn't know our arrangement." What in the Nick Jr. Godfather? The only arrangement this child should know about is an edible one. She continues, "Yes, I told them they were for you.
Oh, God.
I just don't get it. We've been doing this for like 5 years. 5 years? When you were like, what, 9? The person she's on the phone with then asks to speak to someone at Walgreens. So she hands the phone to the girl behind the counter. Poor Walgreens girl gives her that "why you involving me in your mess" look, but then very politely says, "How can I help you?" Meanwhile, y'all, I am just trying to pick up a 4x6 from the wedding I attended this weekend. But now I'm paranoid that I'm on an episode of Dateline, or What Would You Do? I'm looking for cameras and stuff. The Walgreens girl behind the counter is doing her best to explain to this hot box of crazy that it is illegal to do what they are asking her to do. But then, the worst. Underage Ursula somehow manages to lock eyes with me, which was her invitation to say, "Excuse me, sir, could you help me out and buy me some cigarettes? They're not for me, they're for my mom." That would be a very strong hell no. Girl, while I appreciate your predicament, I am a school teacher, and the last thing I need to be doing is committing a misdemeanor when I just came in for a photo and maybe a powdered donut or two. I said I don't really feel comfortable doing that. I managed to get the lady at Walgreens' attention, and I mouthed, "I'll come back later." Y'all, I'm worried that I am like a medium or something for crazy. 'Cause I swear this shit finds me. Now y'all find your joy. Y'all, you cannot
What
make this
the
stuff
hell,
up. So I'm
dude?
at my local.
Get out of here.
What is something I would search on Google?
Listen, I know in the classroom I'm a super fun teacher to have, but as an employee, I'm pretty sure I'm a principal's nightmare. Oh, you want an example? Okay. I used to teach in Indiana. There was a school-wide policy that teachers had to turn lesson plans in a week in advance. Not me. One, it's stupid that you'd have them do on a Monday. It's the weekend. I'm drinking. I'm not gonna be coherent enough to make lesson plans. But two, I don't know my kid's interest is gonna be that week. But this became a problem, so the principal called me into the office and said that if I turn lesson plans in late one more time, there'd be repercussions. All right, whatever, that's fair. It's a Monday morning, I'm driving into school. I stopped at McDonald's to get me a sausage McMuffin. And remember, I did not do my lesson plans. I'm also running a little late to work. So what did I do? I parked my car at the McDonald's. I knew I had to write lesson plans, so I looked for a scrap piece of paper. Couldn't find one. So I instead took a Sharpie and the wrapper to my McMuffin, and I wrote my plans on that. And then I turned it in. Surprisingly, I was not fired, but now I don't drive anywhere without a notebook. Listen, I know in the classroom I'm a super fun teacher
Believe
to
me,
have, but-
Brantley. We were all hoping you were going to get fired. Oh, I forgot to cross off COVID, and now we're already done with TikTok. But anyway, on that note, since we got to go see Brentley again, might have to do a Brentley video soon. Brentley update. I sent him a few messages trying to see if he would come on to the stream to talk to me. But, I mean, he's a little bit too, he's too big time. I'm small potatoes to him. I mean, the guy's got 2.2 million followers. 2.2 million followers for Brentley. Man, can't believe it. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me for Swamp Live. Thank you for being here for the first ever What Are They Mad About Now live. And I don't know if I'll do What Are They Mad About Now every single week. Maybe every other week. I don't know. Because I'm going to still make videos of it too. So I don't want to, waste all my good videos. But yeah, I thought it was fun doing the voting. All right, guys. I think I'm going to do some streaming on the other channel because I want to play this game that I just got. Hellblade. I've played it once before, and I did not finish it, so I wanted to get through it again. Or try to get through it for the first time, I guess. All right. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure YouTube didn't turn off the notifications, because they do that a lot. And don't forget to send in your super chats to try to fill up the jar. That's the most important one. That's the most important one. All right, you guys. I'll see you next time.